Good morning. Hi. It feels like I was just here. That's right. I was just here. I know. It's crazy. Well, the reason why I'm here, obviously, you see by the title, now more things have developed since my show started last night. I mean, of course, I wouldn't know because I was doing my show. And honestly, I mean, I potentially could have brought it up during the show, but last night's show was really about talking about what has gone on the past few days in the entertainment world, losing David Crosby and, a couple of other things. And then just celebrating the fact that Steve Perry is celebrating his 74th birthday tomorrow, which is crazy. So that was really fun. But, I wake up this morning and I'm not surprised, honestly. Morning, Candy. How are you? Not surprised. I'm going to just go through, in case you haven't heard about it yet, but of course, many of you may have. I'm just going to go through it. I'm just going to read about it. And, we can lightly have a conversation. But I just want to let you all know what's going on. Jonathan Cain, keyboardist for the band Journey, is suing bandmate Neal for allegedly spending over $1 million on the band's shared American Express card, including $400,000 in a single month last year. In a countersuit filed in California state court, Cain claims that Sean's own actions led to restrictions on his access to the Amex account, including misusing the card for personal expenses, which created serious liquidity problems for the band. Cain's countersuit includes specific allegations about Sean's spending habits, such as spending over $100,000 in January of 2022 and $400,000 in charges at Bergdorf, Goodman, and other retailers in March. This comes not long after the band played in Times Square in New York City last year. Sean's attorney has denied the allegations and called it sour grapes after a recent incident in which Sean demanded that Cain stop playing events for former President Donald Trump. Before I move forward, just saying all of this is alleged. I have not seen the actual lawsuit online. I could not find it. I'm sure it's out there somewhere. However, I could not find it. This, I guess, was filed a few days ago. So even though it's new news to all of us, this has been sitting somewhere, lurking in the background. And I'm not laughing. I honestly don't find any of this amusing whatsoever. And before I go on, I didn't even want to do this, to be honest. I know, and you're probably like, well, why are you? Because it is relevant Journey news. We do talk about Journey all the time here. Really, this is what we all talk about. This is the band that we love. So it is relevant news for the band. But I really have to be honest with all of you. This feels really icky to me. Because as it goes on and as more and more things begin to unfold and happen, I'm literally telling you guys, I don't like talking about this. I don't. It feels horrible. And also, I can't imagine if me as a complete outsider, I feel terrible talking about this. I feel like it's just not good where it's going. Not going to be ending in a good place, I feel, no matter where it lands. And all of this is alleged, by the way. I just have to say that. I can't imagine how all of the other people in the band, involved in the band, around the band are feeling about this. Just can't feel good. And you also have to wonder, are the other members of the band, besides Neal and Jonathan, who this is going between, are they being pitted against one another? You just don't know. Like, are you going to take my side? Are you going to take my side? Or whose side are you on? There has to be some of that as well. I would imagine, again, it's alleged, but when you have all of this big monumental lawsuits happening, there has to be some of that. It's human nature, right? It's just, even in real life, something happens in real life between family members, or, I hope you're not talking to that person because that person doesn't like me. And why would you like them? Well, because I'm not involved in it. So it's really, sometimes in life it involves taking sides. Not that it feels good, not that it's the right thing, but you got to think there might be a little of that going on. I don't know. So the legal battle, this one is not the first time the members of Journey have found themselves in court. In 2020, Sean and Kane joined forces to file a lawsuit against former bandmates Stephen Smith and Ross Valerie over the band's name. And in September of the same year, former lead singer Steve Perry took legal action to stop Sean and Kane from registering federal trademarks on the names of many of the band's biggest hits. However, in both of those cases, Sean and Kane were on the same side. And that is very important to note. They were on the same side. Even just recently, we forget about these things because of all of the other events that have unfolded. But we do forget, Steve Perry was suing Jonathan and Neal. So it was Steve over here, Jonathan and Neal over here. And they were on the same side. They're not on the same side now, clearly. Steve, however, has since dropped that lawsuit against Jonathan and Neal. The current legal dispute began in October when Sean filed a lawsuit accusing Kane of blocking access to critical financial records linked to the shared American Express account. In his complaint, Sean claimed that Kane's actions had delayed payments to crew members and vendors and interfered with the band's activities. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Kane has now filed a lawsuit claiming that it was Sean's reckless spending. Again, this is coming from many different news sources. This is not my opinion. These are not my words. This is coming from Ultimate Classic Rock, Billboard, Blabbermouth. Has Variety even put it out yet? I'm not sure, but this is from all different news sources. And also, pressure is being placed on the band's ability to cover normal tour expenses. He accuses Sean of breaching his fiduciary duty to the band's shared corporate entity called Nemoda LLC and of unjustly enriching himself at Kane's expense. Because Neal and Jonathan both, I believe, own 50-50 of Nemoda. It's not just 60-40, 30-70. I suck at math. You know what I'm saying? So that was a lot for me to even think about. It's 50-50. All right. I could do simple math. All right. I'm not going to put myself down that much. Like 1 + 1 definitely equals 500 sometimes. The outcome of this legal battle is yet to be determined, but it is clear that the relationship between the bandmates has become increasingly contentious in recent years. The band's fans will be hoping that the members can find a resolution and put their differences aside so that they can continue to focus on making music and entertaining their fans. The questions are coming from me to all of you, though. I will say that. So remember this whole statement I just said. Can they put all of this aside for the sake of the fans? Major question. As the legal battle between Jonathan and Neal continue, it is important to note that this type of dispute is not uncommon among band members. Not uncommon among band members, correct. Like you guys and I have discussed many, many times over the past several months, bands go through these things. They go through legal battles. However, I don't believe there has been another band in history to air what's going on behind the scenes as much as what's happening now. I don't believe so. We have the Beatles. They had their ongoing problems, many, many disputes they had with each other. But did you really know about it? You didn't. I don't think you really knew about it until after the fact. But again, media was way different then, right? We have access to everything now. Fleetwood Mac, you knew stuff was going on. This just feels so different, don't you think? I could be wrong, but this just feels really, really different. It is also worth noting that in the entertainment industry, a band is often considered a business, absolutely. And like any other business, it's important to have clear financial records, agreements, and communication between the members. Of course. I mean, that's a no-brainer. In this particular case, allegedly, the fact that the band had a shared American Express card and the fact that there were restrictions on access to the account's financial records indicates that the band did not have clear agreements in place, allegedly. Because realistically, so Al and I have joint everything. There's nothing to hide there. We know everything that's going on in our financial and personal lives with each other. Right? Like most people. I say most people because some people do not conduct their private business that way. Fine, whatever, you do what you want to do. And everybody has their choice to handle their own personal businesses the way they do it. But in a situation like this, clearly there was some knowledge or non-knowledge of what was going on financially behind the scenes, which led to the first lawsuit from Neal against Jonathan. Additionally, the fact that Sean and Kane have had legal disputes with former bandmates in the past suggests that there may be a lack of trust among the members, which can also contribute to these types of conflicts. Allegedly, we don't know that's true. This is just hearsay and an opinion. It is important for bands to set clear guidelines and expectations for how finances will be managed, as well as to have open and honest communication among band members. Open and honest communication. And you have to kind of think of, where did that all break down? When did that break down? How did that break down? And if this had been going on for a really long time, which is what it sounds like to me, this has been going on. This is not a new thing. The groundwork has been set for this years ago. But how? Like, how do you let it get to that point that you don't know what's happening financially with your business? Going back to, of course, this is a business. I mean, we take it as, our stance on it. It's a band we love. We love listening to the music. We love going to the shows, all of that. However, you all know this. I'm not saying anything that's new here. Behind the scenes, it takes a village, right? It takes a village to put on the shows that they do, to get the people from one place to the next, to rehearse, to make sure it sounds good, looks good, everything like that. And then personally, for each one of those guys that are on that stage, they have to eat right. They have to look good. They have to keep themselves in tip-top shape. So it just goes beyond what we see. And all of that is a business. You are, not you. You know what I'm saying. They are their own business entity. Every single member of Journey is a business. Neal, John, Dean, Jason, Todd, Arnell. Look at Arnell, with all of the great clothing brands, the couture brands that stand behind him, his looks, he's perfect. I know he'd probably be like, I'm not perfect, but he really is. Like, let's face facts here. They all look good. They all sound good. They all give a great show. It takes a lot to get to that place. You think about just trying to get up and start your day, and whether you go to a 9-to-5 job or you're an entrepreneur, It takes work to do all of that. It's not something that just happens. It's a lot of background stuff. So, as the legal proceedings continue, it will be interesting to see how this case unfolds and what the outcome will be. Well, yeah. You kind of, to me at this point, I feel like there's not even going to be an outcome. I'm just saying. I feel like it's just going to keep going. Where's the end? Fans of the band, of course, will be hoping for a resolution that allows the bandmates to put their differences aside and focus on what they do best, and that is making music and entertaining their fans. At the end of the day, really that is what it ultimately comes down to. However, you have the band and entertaining their fans up here. And then as you go down the pyramid, you have all of the other stuff that needs to fill in the base for the top of that pyramid. You can't just have the top without a base, without a strong, solid base. The base is broken, kids. The base is broken. So we have a pyramid that's about to really collapse, I think. It's just as if when a flood happens, right? The water pressure that flows into something, whatever it comes in contact with, eventually the pressure is so extreme that it will push down anything in its way, whether it be a house, a wall, a car, something with extreme force. What is going on here is an extreme force that is bound to break at some point. We can see, and it breaks my heart. I'm literally, guys, I don't care really whether if somebody says, well, you don't mean that. I do mean that. I mean this with my sincere heart and soul. To see the posts online from fans who, are going back and look at these great pictures from back in the day when Steve Perry was playing with Neal and Jonathan and Ross and Steve. And they go back and they just think about the great memories, all of the things we were talking about here last night, people's memories of Steve Perry and Journey, going to see Journey, building friendships around Journey. That's the good stuff. That's the great stuff we remember. I do feel like a broken record sometimes, I do. But it's true. That's the great positivity we take away from that band. But now the fact that we are all drawn into everything that's going on with the band, it's heartbreaking. I don't know what other way to put it. It's heartbreaking. You don't have to get involved with it. You don't. You have a choice to turn your head and say, listen, I'm just not going to read about it anymore, but it is going on. And gosh, dang it. I'm telling you, as much as I wanted to just not talk about this today, I just felt like I had to, because it is another layer on top of, all the stuff that is happening. It's another layer, another force to break the base of the strong pyramid that once was. And you just have to say to yourself, how much more can that tippity top take the base crumbling until it all just falls down? We can look at, it's going to be fine. Everything's going to be fine. How can it be fine? How? Just like when, and I do go back to Fleetwood Mac, and I'm also looking at one of their wall hangings right now. So my mind always goes there anyway. But you think about when Stevie Nicks a few years ago literally just couldn't be on the same stage with Lindsey Buckingham anymore. And he was fired from the band. She couldn't do it. Because, I believe, and I'm going back in my mind of things I had read about the whole situation. And Stevie had said, and don't quote me on this because I don't have the exact words in front of me, but the way Lindsay was looking at her or mocking her when she was talking at an awards ceremony. And a lot of that's going on too. You know, the words, the real strong words that are being thrown back and forth. It's a lot. And then you hit personally to people's family. It's how much of that can you take as a human being for real? You know, there is only so much we as people can take. You can have a hard skin, tough skin. I think I have a pretty tough skin, but sometimes stuff gets to you, especially when it's really close to home. So I do think about how much more can this band take? How much more? How many more lawsuits can happen before it just crumbles? It takes money to file a lawsuit. It takes money to fight a lawsuit. Who's paying for all that? They're paying for it. And again, the stress behind all of that, how? We're people. They're people. They're mega superstars. Yes, we understand that. But they're still human beings at the end of the day. They have feelings. They have families. They have bills to pay, just like everybody else. They're not above being a human being. They're not above not having feelings. And that's the important takeaway here. How much can all of them take until one of them cracks? So before I, chat with you guys for a couple of minutes here are just some questions I have for you guys. And think about them. Let us know in the chat. These are things I'm just curious about. And I'm curious, really, what you guys think about it too. And I really want to know, because I will go and read these later and we'll chat about it next week. So my first question being, we are less than a week away from Journey's first show on January 27th in Durant, Oklahoma. Will Journey take the stage? It's question number one. Will they take the stage? And Al and I were having this conversation first thing this morning. This is what we talk about because this is relevant news. But, he thinks they won't. However, on the other hand, I think they have to, due to legalities and contracts. And can you imagine? I don't know how many people are involved in putting on one Journey show, but I can't imagine it's not a few. There's, again, going back to it takes a village. A lot of people relying on the band for their income, their livelihood, and then really, on the flip side of it, being able to do what they love and making a living from doing what they love. So there's a lot of behind the scenes that, we also have to think about. They probably have no choice to take that stage. But I would love to know what you guys think about that. Because that is a looming question. Is it going to happen? Is this tour going to happen? We hear yes. But again, a lot of things, and I'm not going to go down that road right now, but a lot of things are not being solidified. They're not being confirmed. So it just makes you wonder, is there a question? I don't know. My next question. So we know that they're capable of taking the stage. We know that. We understand. They're all very capable of taking the stage and doing a great job with taking that said stage. However, can they spiritually, mentally, all of the other stuff, can they do it? without cracking? Can they be in close proximity with each other, knowing that they're both going after each other, legally wise, and make it happen and make us believe that it's okay? Because we know it's not okay. We know that. So you can probably do it for the first show, second show, maybe the third show. They have a lot of shows booked between January 27th and April 25th. I mean, a crap ton of shows. That's a lot of time together over the next few months. Can they do it? Can they do it for all that time? Being on the same side. Like we're not even talking being in the same room. When you're in the same room with each other or with someone you don't like, but it's a big room and there are a lot of people in that said room, you can kind of go and hide, go to the bathroom, cry. I don't know. You can get away from it, but the stage is only so big. And you got one person here or one person right here. Can't go very far for a couple hours. You're right there. And no, thankfully, I really don't have this problem in my life at this moment, which is a good thing. But when someone doesn't like you, because of course we've all been in that situation, you can feel it. It is, it's there. You can feel that hatred or dislike from across a room. There is a real thing with energy from person to person. That is a thing. And even though I'm not aware of anything, but when you get close to somebody and you just get a bad vibe, whether it be something's uncomfortable or something's off, you feel that. Especially if you're really in tune with how other people act and stuff. That's a real thing. So I don't know. Can they share the same stage for a long period of time for the next few months? How long is that going to go on? I don't know. Let us know. My next question for you guys, as a fan, as we all are, does all of this behind the scenes entanglement bother you, affect you in your views of the band, or will you just move forward, listen to the music, and not let this affect you? Do you care? Do you not care? Do you kind of care? Will you still buy tickets? Is that another question? Yeah. If you have tickets to go to the show, are you just going to, not think of all this and just get immersed in what is being played on that stage? Or is this bothering you? I want to know. Next question. Will this affect the future of Journey as we know them today? It is a question. Can they and will they go on? Can they go on? Is it possible for Neal and John to get on the stage and perform as if nothing is happening? We kind of touched on that a few minutes ago. I think it's going to be difficult. I really do. I really think it's going to be hard. Like I said, you can have a thick skin. You can be tough. You can say, I don't care. You all have feelings. All of us have feelings. It's clear every single time, we have these chats. You all have feelings. You're people. They're people too. So some of the shows between now and the end of April are makeup shows from last year due to postponements. We all know what was going on there. So if there is a new set of shows to be announced in the second part of this year, which I kind of had a feeling, and I do have a feeling that may be the case, depending on where everything stands, will you buy a ticket if new shows are announced, or are you done with all of it? Let us know that in the comments. kind of wraps around the other question I asked. Does this affect your ability to buy tickets to a future Journey show? And then the last question, which I feel really is most important. Did y'all know it's Steve Perry's birthday tomorrow? I had to. I had literally. So when we celebrated last night and I ate a whole mini cake in honor of Steve and I had to stop doing. I did that like at the beginning of my journey here on YouTube. I was eating things for him constantly and I gained like 10 pounds. So I really had to stop doing that for that simple reason. And the little cake that I ate last night, I swear to you, I gained 3 pounds. Because I said, I'm that literally was a serving. I think I said it was for 4 people, but that was to serve 2. I ate all of it. That's how good it was, and I didn't care. It was so yummy. So happy birthday, Steve. Now I just want to throw something out here again before I hop in to you guys for a couple of minutes. But we do have to go back a little bit and remember that there was another lawsuit, or should we say, was it a lawsuit or just a big dispute? Okay, allegedly. Let's just call it a big dispute. So I'll backpedal. Remember the big dispute, allegedly, even though it was really out in the open, back in 2017, when Jonathan and Neal had a real public battle about Jonathan going to the White House and Neal was not present. But at that time, they were bickering with each other publicly. So Jonathan said, and I do not quote this, but it was somewhere that he didn't think he would want to be there. So that's why he wasn't invited. So Jonathan described that feud as a, quote, bump in the road, which is probably one of many that has happened during their 40-plus year relationship. Remember, these guys have been together a long, long time, decades. And as other members of bands who I've had the privilege and honor of speaking to, you can't be perfect. You can't have a perfect relationship with someone you're with constantly. It just can't be. That's just not human nature. There are always going to be spats, disputes, disagreements, but in the bigger picture, you want to hope that most of it's been really good. The majority, like the 90%, you're hoping was great. So back then in 2017, Jonathan said, and I quote, "It's just something that happened. We've had a tremendous relationship for 38 years." Again, this was in 2017. Any relationship that goes on that long, there's bound to be bumps in the road. But I think the band and our fans are bigger than all of this stuff. Neal and I brought this thing, along with the rest of the guys, back to where it belonged. I'll always be grateful for that. We're brothers. I'm proud of that. Jonathan said this in 2017. We lose sight of these facts, these positive things that have been said over the years. And Jonathan went on to say, and I quote, "For the fans, the music is all that matters. We all have our private life, and when we have Journey, then we have Journey. You go through these things and you got to get out the steam. Let's hit reset and make great music." From 2017. And that dispute was really public. So they can still come together and make great music for the fans. It's just a question of, can they come together and make great music for the fans? No denying about the music. We know that that'll happen. But it's just, how long before that base really crumbles? We don't know. So let me just say hi to you guys for a couple of minutes here, and then I'll let you go on with your beautiful Saturday. Hey, Peter Michaels, how are you? And this is what Peter says. "Good morning, everyone. This band has too much drama going on. And Kiki, you're right. They may have to tour because of contracts, but after that, they should go separate ways if they can't get along anymore." Isn't that the truth, though? because there definitely are other things that can happen. I mean, Jonathan does do a lot outside of the band. Dean has his Revolution Saints project that they came out with some fabulous new music. Go and check them out if you haven't already. And I'm hoping they go on tour this year. And we can't forget Journey Through Time, which did not come to the East Coast, but that can always be a thing too. And in the back of my mind, I'm like, is that maybe what's going on for the second half of the year? Because Neal's putting out these posts of him and Greg and Carlos. So you have to kind of wonder, maybe that's what's going on behind the scenes for the 50th. We don't know. They know. And then they don't all have to be together, but they will be together in some capacity, way, shape, or form. And then Peter went on to say, who wants to be in a band with drama? I don't know how it is, but it's sad to break up a band. But if it doesn't work, then you can't go on. That's how I feel. And that's a valid feeling, of course. And Mark said, cannot. Hey, I have a question. Is it true that tomorrow is Steve Perry's birthday? I don't know. I don't know if anyone knew that here, but it is Steve Perry's birthday tomorrow. Oh my gosh, I can't. And hey, Patty, how are you? So yeah, it's just a lot of questions. And I really, really would love for you guys to just take a couple of minutes and put the answers in the chat. And, we'll talk about it at another time. But, it really is sad. I really didn't want to do this. I really didn't. And there were a couple of other things that I had ideas for this week. I got to tell you, I have a lot of ideas all the time. And I just didn't do it. I just didn't do them. I said, you know what? There's only so much of this weekend. Really, there's only so much. Candy said, Kiki, going to any thrift stores or Market Basket today? If you are, have some fun. Well, thank you, Mark, for lighting up the room. And to answer your question, Candy, here's my thought. I would love to go to rent them outlets. I don't know. Al's probably cringing he's cringing right now as he's listening, because I know he's listening. I really want to go because I have a gift certificate. But you know what? I won't buy anything for myself. I'll buy something to resell it. I know. It's just how I am. I have a problem. The thrift store, I think I'm banned from there for a couple of weeks because I went the other night and I bought a whole bunch of stuff that has to get listed. Great stuff, like a lot of vintage stuff, like I told you guys last night. But can I pass by there without maybe just running in? Probably not, because it's bad. Market Basket, I just went there a couple of days ago, so I think I'm good. And spend so much money on nothing. Even though they do have good deals, they have better deals than another local supermarket. I mean, they do have good deals. And I'm grateful for that. And Mark said, no, I just can't. So what are you guys doing today? What are you doing for this wonderful weekend? I woke up to a little bit of snow this morning in Rhode Island. Louis was insane again last night. He wasn't too bad, but he got up at 4. So I'm tired. Am I napping? Nope, I'm not doing that. I've really, on the past few weekends, I said to you guys before, I need to stop napping because on the weekend, because literally then I'm up till 2-3 o'clock in the morning, and then I don't get up until late, and I don't like doing that. That's a problem. I don't like doing that. I hate falling asleep on the couch because even though it's comfortable to sit on and watch my movies and stuff like that, and I have a beautiful view outside of my living room window, I really do. Like, I'm completely blessed with that. Just look at nature and water and woods. I can't. That is literally my getaway every single day. But when you fall asleep on that couch and you wake up and you got a crick in your neck and you're awake until ungodly hours of the morning. And then your husband's like, don't turn the TV on when you go to bed. But I have to because I need that to go to sleep. It's like a pacifier for me. I have to have the television on. And Candy said, don't forget, we're celebrating Steve Perry's birthday all weekend, especially Sunday. That's right. That's right. And Kazan, how are you? Welcome. Or Cezanne, that's a beautiful name, by the way. Welcome. I'm not a fan of naps either. Prefer to just sleep at night. And I have to say, the past few weeks, I am so thankful I have forced myself to not fall asleep in the afternoon on the couch watching Netflix. And I think there's a couple of new things on Netflix I have to check out. Not sure the names of them. I get emails. I don't know if you guys, if you have Netflix, you get the emails. Oh, Kiki, we have a new documentary you might like. So I will check them out. Hopefully they're good. You know, if you have not seen the George and Tammy series on Showtime, you got to watch that. Even if you're not a country music fan or never were, it was really wicked sad story. Really well done. George and Tammy, about George Jones and Tammy Wynette on Showtime. Really good. I mean, I haven't seen a series like that in a long time. I like the real life stories. I like those. Those are my favorites. So Candy said, if I take a cat nap, sometimes I feel worse than when I did before. That's what I'm saying. So sometimes I usually don't unless I just dozed off sitting up. I know. And then Peter said, hi, Kambala, welcome. Hi, happy Saturday. Peter said, it's sad to see them break up, but you can't work together if you're not on the same page. And I meant to say, I know how it is. I've been there, Alan, Kiki, and everyone have an awesome weekend. Yeah, it's true. And Mark said, not sure if you know this, but a little birdie told me that tomorrow is Steve Perry's birthday. And on that note, I'm probably gonna head off and do something fun. So I hope you guys are doing something fun this weekend, or you're even just staying toasty, organizing your life and your house and whatever. I have to clean out my closet again. It's so sick. Like, it's sick. And that's why going to the thrift shop is bad but good. I got this awesome shirt there. I love it so much. And it has little ties in the back and it's so cute. But that's the problem. You see these cute things and you buy them. I mean, when you're paying $4 for something, it's hard to say no. It's really hard to say no. But $4 times 200, and then you got a closet that you can't put anything in anymore. Yeah, it's got to stop. It has to stop. It's going to stop today. Remember, tomorrow is Steve Perry's birthday. Everybody didn't know if you knew. I was just reminding you. Thanks for being here. Thank you. And I would love to see some of the answers to the questions I had for you guys earlier. And, you know, we just have to really love our journey music that we grew up with and love and adore. And that's the end of that. You know, just try to stay on the positive side of the fence as much as we can. But, you know, this is relevant information that is happening, and we do have to talk about it because it's there. It is there. I love you guys so much. Please, you know, if you don't mind hitting the like button, subscribing to the channel if you have not already. If you love just talking about journey and entertainment news and joining in on the chat, we would love to hear from you and have you as part of this wonderful and amazing family that we have. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Enjoy your rest of the weekend. It's Steve Perry's birthday tomorrow. Did I say that already? Did Mark say? Did Candy say? Everybody's saying it. Remember to be kind to everyone because you never know. We heard some great stories last night about how Journey and Steve Perry has affected their lives in such a positive way. And you never know what someone is going through. So when you're out and about this weekend, again, don't creepily smile at a stranger. Like, don't be all weird about going, hi, like, don't be all weird like that. But, you know, if the opportunity arises to just say hello to somebody, hey, I like your jacket or whatever, just to be nice to a stranger, it goes a long way. Trust me. Trust me. It's happened to me in my life. And, you know, just to touch someone, not weird, but just to touch someone's life in a real positive way is always a good feeling to have. Stay strong in these crazy times. Get some chickens like Kathy Bailey and have your own eggs if you can. But but don't hoard chickens because that's not a good thing to do either. It's not good for the chickens and it's not good for you. Eggs are good though. I like eggs. And also remember, most importantly, guys, what do? Crank up the music as loud as we can. Dance like nobody's watching in the grocery store. I've done that and I still continue to do it and I will always do it. And of course, keep rocking. I love you guys so much. And I will hopefully see you on Tuesday. Unless something happens before then, I hope not. Let's just keep our fingers crossed it doesn't, okay? Bye, guys. Have a good one.